Back in the box, after a steady stream of denials,
I had nothing to do with this.
the frustration is mounting.
Why did the deserve it? Oh, no. I would have said, why, man? He's my friend. What kind of is that?
But now Harris's work starts to pay off, and this is the signal he's been waiting for. A piece of body language Harris calls the surrender position.
This is surrender, defeated. You see his feet moving and his head's down. I know I'm onto something here. Okay, now here's a very important question. Watch his foot. Did you shoot?
And then a giveaway.
Did you shoot?
Well, yes.
Now, if I was to accuse you of something, Chris, that you didn't do, are you going to repeat the question to me? Or are you going to adamantly deny and say, get out of my face, I'm through with you?
With one final push, Frank Spencer breaks.
We're being told that you're the shooter.
Yeah, I shot it.
Spencer says his gang wanted Jose Lorenzo dead because they thought he was cooperating with police.
Why did y'all want to kill him?
They said he was snitching too much.
Never, ever was in the house.
Well, tell me what
Christine Paolilla stubbornly sticks to her story, so Harris decides to have his partner question her later.
We don't use the good cop, bad cop routine. If anything, it's the good cop, good cop.
This investigation is regarding the death of a number of people that happened in the Clear Lake area of Houston.
And this time, she implicates herself in the shootings, but continues to evade responsibility.
I had made the gun go off, not purposely though.
She now says she did take part in the killing spree, but only because her boyfriend forced her to.
Such ridiculous confessions. Hers was that her boyfriend, while she held the gun, put his fingers on top of hers and pulled the trigger multiple times.
How many times do you think it went off in your hand?
1,000,000 times.
It went off a bunch in your hand?
It felt like 1,000,000 times.
So ultimately, yes, she's admitting, but still a ridiculous version. Jim, I'm going to say one more time. Did you kill your wife?
I did not.
With James McCann, it seems Harris's questioning has a delayed impact. It takes this interview and hours of polygraph testing days later. But finally,
He decided to write me an apology letter and describe what happened.
in the note, McCann admits to killing Hattie Faye.
I am very sorry I've not been honest about the interview.
Harris immediately arranges another session in the box.
Are you ready to tell me what happened?
McCann says he and Hattie got in an argument, which turned physical.
And then that happened.
Well, what happened?
Well, I grabbed one of those pillows and I was just gonna put it over her face and scare her. And I was pressing.
Pressing?
Yeah. Then after that, I guess I lost time and she went limp and fell.
It feels like success, but Harris knows there's always a chance an innocent man could confess.
The worst feeling in the world is putting someone behind bars for a crime that they didn't commit.
False confessions get a lot of media attention, but in fact they represent a small minority of cases. Still, these defense attorneys, including James McCann's lawyer, say it's precisely because Harris is so good that he is so dangerous.
If anybody is capable of getting a false confession out of somebody, it would be Harris.
You have all the power, you know all the tricks, that it's too much for people to handle. It's too much. They can't get away from it.
They can't get away from the truth, and that's the significant thing.
But it's too much. You're too good. I may be innocent, but I may just go along because I'm nervous. How do you deal with that?
It is absolutely crucial that when an interrogator is talking to a suspect, that they don't reveal too many details.
But that's just what McCann's attorney believes Sergeant Harris did before the taping began. Harris laid out a theory of the crime in which Hattie was smothered with a pillow. Coincidentally, that's the exact same story McCann described in his letter.
You keep him in a little room for 6 or 8 hours, and all of a sudden he comes out and he's just regurgitating what you fed him earlier. Well, where do you feel there's any confidence in that?
And what about this? McCann said he only suffocated Hattie, but the autopsy told a different story.
She had severe brain damage. She had 6 broken ribs. She had a fractured collarbone.
and her neck was just a mess.
I think there's a strong possibility it's a false confession.
I would say this is a partial confession. It's not a false confession, it's a partial confession.
The courts agreed. James McCann was convicted of murder.
I don't know what's going to be next. I really don't.
Frank Spencer was also convicted and is now serving a 60-year sentence.
I'm deeply sorry for what happened, you know what I'm saying? And I wish a lot of things I did, I could have taken back.
As for Christine Paolilla's dubious statement to police that her boyfriend forced her to shoot her friends, the jury didn't buy it.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Christine Marie Paolilla, guilty of capital murder as charged in the indictment.
Harris's work is done, but in this high-stakes mind game, even the winner must pay a psychological toll.
Are you able to do something that's so intense and then turn it off when you leave the box?
It's very exhausting. You get home and your body basically shuts down.
Harris says he's sustained by the support he gets from the victims' families.
Yeah, I really appreciate all this.
My goal is every time there's an arrest, go for the confession, because that confession may prevent a lot of heartache and pain that the victims' families have to suffer.
What's going to happen when I go in the box? I think I can outsmart
Chris, if you're telling the truth and you're innocent, there is nothing to fear in that room. But if you've done something and you think that you're smarter than us, we've been doing this a long time. You're going to talk to me.